Hey guys, this is Substitute Topher. This morning, thanks to my friends at Kauth Mayeur in Peoria, Illinois, we have quite the treat for you. We're driving this 1980 Ferrari 308 GTBi, my first 1980s Ferrari experience. Prior to this, I've only ever driven a couple of F430s, so I myself am in for a bit of a spiritual journey this morning, and I'm excited to take you guys all along with me. Now, I said Substitute Topher in the beginning. I should have said Substitute Magnum PI. That is what this car is known for. It's what made it so iconic. Anyway, what do you need to know about this 1980 Ferrari 308 GTBi? Well, I stands for injection. This is fuel injected, no carburetors on this. It's powered by a 2.9 liter naturally aspirated V8, making somewhere in the ballpark of 210 horsepower, kind of depending on which website you go to. It gives you a different figure. And torque is just under 200 pound-feet, somewhere around 180. This is mated to a 5-speed dogleg gated manual transmission, and of course, it's rear-wheel drive. But the most iconic bits of this car, of course, are on the outside, the wedge shape. It's absolutely stunning. We're riding on a set of 14-inch wheels, and this is going to be somewhat of the basis of this video because quite a popular upgrade for these older 308s is fitting a set of 16s for a couple of reasons. For one, to make it look a bit more modern, and also to make the car handle a bit better. So we're going to do the first half of this video on 14s and the second half of the video on 16s. It's a gold wheel. They're pretty period correct looking. Actually, it's just a replica of this wheel that we have on the car, but a couple inches bigger. So I thought that would be fun here for the Topher channel and just get some driving in on this beautiful Ferrari 308. So this is red, as 308s should be, in my opinion. It's a fixed roof. You could also get one with no roof in the middle. I think this looks proper, actually, with a roof on it. So, alrighty, well, before we get out on the road, let's pop the hood, and we'll show you this 2.9 liter V8. Got this little popper back here in the door sill. That reveals our Bosch fuel-injected 2.9 liter V8. Very small little V8, but it does still sound like a Ferrari. I mean, that's kind of what they're known for. Small V8s, high revving, and you know, this was the 1980s. Cars didn't really make a ton of power in this era. This weighs about 2,800 pounds, so even the power to weight ratio is not the best, but we'll go out and we'll see what she's got today. And behind the engine, something that I like is we have a little bit of a boot, kind of like a Porsche Cayman, and it's quite a big opening, or I should say a C8 Corvette, I suppose, is kind of like this as well. That's shut. Quad exhaust tips. Man, what an iconic look here from the back. I first sat in this for the first time yesterday, and the seating position is really out of this world, and not necessarily in a great way. This is kind of where these Ferraris get a little bit awkward. I have driven this car a little bit this morning, and it drives great, but the seating position is very weird. It takes some getting used to, and this is not unique to the 308. This is, I mean, any Italian car up until like the mid-2000s. They were just really awkward to drive. So let's jump in this thing. I will say, it's a very pretty interior. Lots of nice trimmings in here. Nice tan leather, black leather dash. We've got these attractive vents there. The gauge cluster is beautiful. We have this very, very attractive Nardi steering wheel. But here's the thing, okay, let's shut the door. Also, these mirrors are manual adjust, so you kind of just grab them and move them wherever you want, which I had this one adjusted right. Now I just messed it up. There we go. So, 5-speed gated manual. It's a dog leg, which means first gear is towards you and down as opposed to towards you and up. If you do that, you will be going backwards. So you got to make sure you remember the gear pattern here when you're driving a classic Ferrari. But this is just a very awkward situation here. The clutch pedal, okay, you guys see how my leg is. The clutch pedal's there. So you kind of have to contort yourself. And the problem is, if you're any taller than 5'5", your shin is going to be bashing into this vent here in the middle. But I understand it's all part of the charm. I'm not complaining, just observing. I think this is one of the coolest things I've ever driven, and I'm excited to take you guys all out on the road and show you what it's like. Little ashtray here. Looks like the owner's got some coins in there. Power windows on this car. We have some toggle switches down here for our fan, hazards. All of our climate controls are down here on the console. Obviously, big old mechanical handbrake with a really nice leather boot. Little glove compartment back here, which is nice because we don't have one on the dashboard. This revs to just under 8,000 RPM. Consider that for a car made in 1980. Quite impressive. This example's done 74,000 miles, and it feels quite good for a Ferrari with 74,000 miles. So let's go ahead and start it up. Generally, Italian cars don't love doing warm starts, so we'll see how this behaves today for us. Pretty good success there. First try. All right. Love it. Now, we do have seat belts. They aren't great, but they at least simulate a seat belt. You know, they don't really hug you too tight, but there you go. Okay, you just gotta manhandle it a little bit and tighten it. But there you go, idling great there, just under 1,000 RPM. Why don't we take this thing out on the road and see what it's like to drive? Okay, parking brake down. We're gonna go into reverse first, back away from this big mound of dirt. Did not consider how awkward this would be with the camera. I think I'm almost touching the headliner, so we'll try and do this without knocking the camera off. Obviously, no power steering in this 308. But it is honestly reasonably easy to drive. Usually for the first couple of minutes of driving, second gear synchro is not too happy. So I went out before filming, put a few miles on it, got things warmed up for us so we can actually use this as intended. Brakes here for the railroad tracks. It's a happy car. To top gear there, we'll put the windows up. Look at that. Windows up. Could actually have a civilized conversation in here. This is so fun. Getting myself calibrated with this gearbox. Steering is fantastic. Obviously, it's not power assisted. I like windows down better. We're gonna roll windows down until we get on the highway. But here's the thing with this car. Obviously, you're not going to be driving or owning a Ferrari 308 unless you're a huge car enthusiast and you're willing to make some uncomfortable sacrifices. But with the sacrifices that you make, the rewards here are pretty big. I mean, this is just such a cool thing. It's not very fast, but it sounds amazing. It looks the business. In classic Ferraris, there's really just nothing like it. Okay. Just a very normal turn signal on this car. I don't know why I was expecting it to be some sort of witchcraft to operate the turn signal. There's an officer of the law right there. Okay, let's get these windows up. Get this 308 merged onto the highway and see what that's like. You guys, if you could see the way my body is contorted right now. manhandle it. It'll do what you want eventually. Yes, machine. And here we are. I mean, we're cruising at highway speeds. Look at that, arrow straight. Perfectly happy and dialed in. I get the potential appeal of the 16s though. A little bit of squish from the 70 section sidewall on these 14s. Get into a nice rhythm. I may forget how to drive every other car by the end of today. This one's unique, but that's all. It'll end up being worth it, I think. The clutch pedal does nothing for the first 6 inches. It's all kind of at the top. But it makes for, I mean, pretty easy driving. You don't really have to be guessing where the grab point is. You kind of just let go and then you're there. So here's the biggest shocker so far. The ride quality. It's really comfortable. This is honestly, put these windows back up. This is the biggest shocker so far, is kind of the supple nature of this car. And I'm wondering if that does have a lot to do with these 70 section sidewalls here. Front end of this car is light, so you know, the no power steering thing you don't even notice after a while. What you do notice is the lower climate vents digging into your shin. This is just the coolest thing ever though. Only car enthusiasts could like a car more because it's uncomfortable. But I mean, we're going through a neighborhood right now, 30 miles an hour, 25 miles an hour, and it's happy to do it. It's not upset at all. I'm just so close to everything. Like, I'm not used to this. Fellow red sports car enjoyer. I don't know if you call a Mini a sports car, but there you go. I'm gonna leave the windows down for this little rip, because we did windows up getting onto the highway, so let's let her sing a little bit here. The window switches are in a very convenient location. This is so cool. It's quick enough. I mean, it's definitely not slow, but I don't really care about that. I just want to listen to this little V8. I see the appeal of these cars because, you know, we often talk about what makes a car special. It's becoming more rare as cars get newer because they become more refined, they become more technologically advanced. And this is soul. This is what a sports car should be. You should have to be a little bit scared, a little bit uncomfortable, but it should make a noise like nothing else. And I think this really delivers on all of those things. I can even rest my arm here on the door panel. How about that for ergonomics? If only they could have figured that out with the footwell. But no, for real, the ride quality here is great. I mean, look at the dardiness of this little guy too. There's a bit of body roll going on, and I think that kind of goes hand in hand with the bit more of a supple ride than I was expecting. You know, I think Ferrari kind of made these cars back in the day not as track weapons. They wanted these to be cars you could get in daily drive and, you know, drive up the PCH and not just get rattled to death. And I appreciate that about a car. Not love a gated shifter too. All right, let's see. Let's go third gear for this and want to lift in a mid-engine car like this mid-corner because things can get bad. So just trying to go at a pretty good pace for us there. Turn the fan on here. Got a little switch over to the right for the air conditioning. It's just like a little twist knob. And then you've got a little defroster thing to aim where you want the air to go. That is some cold AC coming out of this thing. Okay. This is a decreasing radius exit ramp, so it gets tighter as you go here. See that? Feels pretty confident even on 14s with big old sidewalls. That's second. Good, I caught myself. You spend your whole life second gear being towards you and down. It's like that episode of Top Gear where James has that Mercedes 190 Cosworth and he keeps backing into Hammond because he keeps putting the car into reverse. I know we say this a lot, but I love a car that I can kind of row the gears and I'm not going to go to jail for it. Like, this car is not fast enough to put you in jail until like fourth gear. All right, well, let's get this back to Kauth and Mayeur. We're going to swap on some 16s and then we'll go back out and we'll see if it changes anything. All right, well, we're going to pull this in. We're going to leave it running because I don't feel like hot starting it again. So just give you one last look at these 14s to remind you what they look like, and then then we'll take it inside and we will do a little swap-a-roo. Parking brake up. Door handle to get out, it's hidden under this thing here. What do you guys think? I mean, these 14s are, of course, period correct. So we'll have to see what the 16s look like. We will fast forward to that right now. And just like that, the 16s are swapped on. Let's check these out real quick, and then we're going to jump back out on the road and we'll do a bit of a comparison. So these are a Continental, and the owner decided to go with a bit of a staggered setup. So the 14s that you saw earlier, those were squared, these are staggered. So on the back we have a 225 50R16, and on the front we have a 205 5516. So they're still 16s all around, but a little bit wider on the back, a little bit less of a sidewall. So we're going from a 70 section sidewall to a 50 section sidewall. So we'll have to see how that affects things. Otherwise, nothing's been changed on the car. I took it around the block a little bit just so we weren't driving on tires that had just been put on. These are brand new, of course. So put a few miles on it. The tires are feeling good. So let's go ahead and jump in and we'll see how they feel. I mean, what do you guys think looks wise? I mean, the gold, I love the gold. I didn't think that I would like the way these look as much as the period correct 14s, but these are looking pretty dang good. So let's jump in. There's almost this bit of like sacrilege that you think about with replacing like the proper factory wheels on an old Ferrari like this, but I think with these being the factory style, just a little bit bigger, they're not offensive at all. So that is a win, I would say. At least you're not sacrificing anything in the looks department. Let's do another warm start on a 1980 Ferrari. That's the ticket. The key is broken, so it digs into your finger while you're trying to start it. We'll be scarred from that, but it's a worthy scar today. Okay, let's get the seatbelt on. This is so cool. Well, under first impressions, this seems to be a quieter tire. I didn't realize those 14s we were on, I mean, we're just like very basic BFG radials, like super period correct stuff. So these should really, really sharpen this car up. Yeah. All right, well, we're getting settled back into this Ferrari. We'll hit some corners and we'll see how these 16s do. Confidence inspiring there, a lot less squish, of course, from that sidewall. I imagine that radial had a very soft sidewall as it was, but so far things are looking pretty good. Also just Ferrari noises. You can hustle this thing. here's what I was worried about the most, is just kind of road intrusion and overall comfort, but no, these are completely fine. I honestly think it's clear already that you're really not sacrificing anything as far as the driving experience goes with these tires. I mean, I'm not any more or less comfortable with these than I was on the 14s. If anything, I'm more confident because these are just more of a modern tire. Now, this is just because the owner of this car went with a modern, you know, Continental summer tire. But no, it feels great. I have zero complaints here from me. Such a great mechanical feel to everything in this car. I mean, it is just such a pleasure. I'm really starting to bond with this now. I'm still uncomfortable, but oh, I am just having a great time in this 308. Is not to be rushed. Very much have to make sure it's happy while you're changing gear. Give you an idea of NVH here on these tires. How we feel on these Contis. Caught these people. Look at that. No drama. This is not something that's so sharp that you're probably ever really going to want to take it to the track, but you can have so much fun in this car on the street, and that's my favorite type of car. Something you can rip around on the street, have some fun on the weekends, drive it to work on the odd day, and this is that car. I mean, it's a really good time. Here's the smear. Honestly, visibility out of this car is not dreadful. The mirrors are kind of the worst part, but the actual greenhouse of the car, like the windshield, is great. Even the side mirrors and blind spots aren't that bad. You have really big quarter windows, and you really just have the blind spot where kind of the back of the hood starts to form. The front of the hood, rather. But I can see everything I need to see out of this. Mostly. That mirror has a bit of a mind of its own as well, so. Really smooth, really quiet on these tires, and if you're scared to do the upgrade, don't be. It's similar enough to the 14s to where this doesn't feel like a completely different car, but at the same time you have just that much more confidence, and I'm okay having that much more confidence in a car like this. I think it does go a long way, and you know, you'll be happy with this if you decide to do it. Yes, machine. My hands are definitely not sweating all over this really nice steering wheel. Sorry, Lance. You have some of my DNA in your car now. Well, guys, that is just about going to do it for us today in this 1980 Ferrari 308 GTBi. What an experience. Thank you again to Kauth Mayeur in Peoria, Illinois for tossing me the keys, and the owner Lance of this 308. Really interesting decisions there from that Dodge Journey I've been noticing. But this has been just such a treat and a nice entry into a 1980s Ferrari experience. I feel like I can drive any of these now. I mean, this feels like a pretty well sorted example. I'm sure they come much worse than this. But anyway, it's been fun. Let's get this back to Kauth Mayeur. And we'll give you one last look at this beautiful red wedge. That will be it for us today. I think the verdict here is, if you're okay having a little bit of a bigger look, I think this really all comes down to preference, because obviously you're not disadvantaged by having a better, grippier, more modern tire on your car. So if you're okay with the 16s, the way that they look, which I certainly am, I think they look fantastic, then go right ahead and put these on, because they do a really good job. So let's go ahead and wrap this up. Let's shut this thing off, and we will give you one last look at the exterior of the 308. Cool, guys. Well, that's going to do it for us today. Thank you all so much for watching. Thanks again for like the third time to Kauth Mayeur, my buddy Sean, the owner Lance. Really good plate. 308 red. Straight to the point. All right, cool, guys. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.